There is a quiet sentence many of us carry. We may not say it out loud, but we live around it. When I have enough saved, then I can breathe. When this debt is gone, then I can rest. When the job feels secure, then I can stop worrying. When the house is paid off, when the emergency fund is bigger, when the future feels more predictable, then my soul can finally settle down. And there is nothing wrong with wise preparation. There is nothing wrong with saving. There is nothing wrong with making plans, or caring for your family, or trying to be responsible with what has been placed in your hands. But sometimes, preparation begins to carry a weight it was never meant to carry. We stop asking it to help us steward tomorrow, and we start asking it to guarantee tomorrow. That is a very different thing. In Luke 12, someone in the crowd interrupts Jesus with an inheritance dispute. "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." It is a practical request, a family conflict, a question about fairness, property, and what belongs to whom. But Jesus does not step into the role the man wants him to play. Instead, he gives a warning. Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Then he tells a story. A rich man's land produces a large harvest. And it is important to notice what Jesus does not say. He does not say the harvest was evil. He does not say the man was foolish because he had land. He does not say that abundance itself is the problem. The ground produced well. The man had more than he expected. But then, Jesus lets us listen to the man's inner world. And what we hear is strangely lonely. What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. This is what I will do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones. I will store my surplus grain. And I will say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, and be merry. The words keep circling around the same center. My crops, my barns, my grain, my goods, my soul. He consults himself. He plans with himself. He speaks to himself. No neighbor appears in the plan. No gratitude appears. No need beyond his own appears. And no God appears until God speaks. His barns get bigger while his world gets smaller. That is one of the quiet warnings in the parable. Abundance can become isolating when it turns the heart inward. The man is not simply planning. He is trying to build a future large enough to remove uncertainty. He looks at what he has stored and speaks to his soul as though his possessions can finally give it rest. You have enough for many years. Relax. Eat. Drink. Be merry. The man speaks as though possessions can guarantee rest for his life, but possessions cannot promise him another night. But then, God interrupts the monologue. You fool. This very night your life will be demanded from you. Then, who will get what you have prepared for yourself? The word fool here does not mean the man lacked intelligence. He knew how to plan. He knew how to store. He knew how to expand. His foolishness was deeper. He lived as though reality could be organized around himself, while forgetting God, forgetting his neighbor, forgetting mortality, and forgetting the limits of control. He thought he had secured many years, but he did not have even one night in his hands. The barns were full. The future was still not his to keep. And then Jesus asks the question that echoes back to the beginning. The man in the crowd wanted Jesus to settle an inheritance. Who gets what? What belongs to whom? And at the end of the parable, God asks, the things you have prepared, whose will they be? It is a sobering question, not because possessions do not matter at all, but because they cannot answer the deepest questions of the soul. They can be used. They can be stewarded. They can be shared. They can be received with gratitude, but they cannot promise life. They cannot guarantee tomorrow. They cannot tell the soul, you are finally safe now. And this is where Luke's gospel gives us something easy to miss. Right after the parable, Jesus turns to his disciples and says, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life. Therefore, that word matters. Jesus does not move from greed to worry as though they are unrelated topics. He moves from the man who stores up enough for many years to disciples who are anxious about life, food, clothing, and tomorrow. And suddenly the parable feels closer, because the rich man is not only a picture of greed, he is also a picture of anxiety, trying to solve itself through accumulation. If I can store enough, I will not have to fear. If I can control enough, I will not have to depend. If I can secure enough, my soul can rest. But Jesus tells his disciples to look at the ravens, to consider the lilies, to remember that the Father knows what they need. He is not inviting them into carelessness. He is inviting them into trust. The answer to uncertainty is not pretending tomorrow does not matter, and it is not believing that enough storage can make tomorrow belong to us. The answer is learning to live before the Father, who knows what we need before we can secure it for ourselves. This is not easy. Many of us know what it feels like to carry financial pressure, to wonder how the bills will be paid, to feel the weight of responsibility for children, aging parents, medical needs, rent, work, retirement, or an unknown future. Jesus is not mocking that weight. He is not shaming the anxious heart. He is gently asking what we are trusting to carry it, because there is a kind of planning that is wise. And there's a kind of planning that quietly becomes an attempt to control what cannot be controlled. There's a kind of saving that is faithful stewardship. And there's a kind of storing that whispers, now I have enough to depend on. Now I can finally feel safe. The line between them is not always visible from the outside. It is often hidden in the soul. It is found in what we believe our plans can promise us. You can prepare for tomorrow without asking tomorrow to make you feel safe. You can save wisely without asking savings to become your peace. You can make plans without believing your plans hold your life, because your life is held somewhere deeper. Jesus contrasts storing up only for ourselves with being rich toward God. And in the verses that follow, he points us toward a different kind of life. A life that can receive, a life that can trust, a life that can open its hands, a life that remembers abundance was never meant to end with itself. So maybe the question is not, do I have enough? Maybe the quieter question is, what am I asking enough to do for me? Am I asking it to help me be faithful? Or am I asking it to make me untouchable? Am I preparing wisely? Or am I trying to eliminate the need for trust? A simple prayer for this week might be, Father, help me prepare wisely without asking what I own, to carry what only you can carry. You do not have to eliminate every uncertainty before you are allowed to rest. You do not have to reach some perfect number before your soul can breathe. You do not have to wait until every risk is gone to begin trusting the Father who already knows what you need. The barns were full. The future was still not his to keep. But your life is not held by barns. It is not held by accounts or plans or predictions or the illusion of control. Your life is held by the Father. And because of that, you can prepare with wisdom, give with freedom, receive with gratitude, and rest before tomorrow is fully known.